Good.
All right. Hey, chat. Welcome to the Wheels Has Weird Hobbies block. We're going to listen to... we're going to do some IP crimes first, which is to say we're going to be listening to the 1940s Superman radio show while playing a Marvel video game. I really like Golden Age radio. We're gonna hear the cursed version of Superman's origin, and we're just gonna vibe to it. If any of y'all have commentary you want to add, just let me know to pause it. This comes from February of 1940. Get ready for some of Superman's early
not just February, Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's so romantic. I am skipping the very first episode of the Superman radio show because I was listening to it before this, and it's mostly just Jor-El getting yelled at for saying that Krypton's gonna explode, and we all know this. Also, there's something that makes my continuity brain really mad about how they do the origin here. Can we hear the radio all right, chat? Can we hear Superman flying like a weird slide whistle?
Is that what that's supposed to be?
I think so. Can we hear it all right?
You should be able to.
They can hear
Whose
it.
endurance is beyond anything humanity has ever known. We have seen how the child of Jor-El and Lara was placed in the rocket,
That's the 30s,
then on
baby.
his way to Earth. During the long
Yeah,
journey
that's
of
just
the
how the
rocket
audio
to the
is.
Earth, the child has become a man.
Yeah, is it iffy in that it's a little crackly? Because that is just how it be. If it's
explore this strange new
iffy
world
that
in
you
which he
can't hear
found
it, we can turn
himself.
it up.
Today, as our story continues, we find him hovering with his curious power above a quiet highway in Indiana. A trolley car is just pulling up the
Midwest
hill,
setting.
and as Superman wheels and turns in curious flight, unseen below, a man and a boy come out of the shed that serves as waiting room.
There's an echo to it. There shouldn't be an echo, but...
The echo is this guy.
Oh,
There's only so much I can do about that.
let me...
Morning,
I
Professor.
got it,
Good
don't
morning. Going into town? Yes, that's right, John. Taking Jimmy to the fair. Tis a great show, all right. Well, I reckon you're my only passenger.
It's not Jimmy
Make
Olsen,
yourself
which
before.
makes me mad
I'm going
to
get
begin
the
with.
extra plot. All
Can't
right.
have two Jimmys.
My
This kind
dad,
of shit
we've
isn't
got the
allowed.
trolley all to ourselves.
Yeah, regular private car.
Where'd the motorman go?
And just over to the spring for a drink. It's a mighty hot day.
You better hurry or we'll be late.
We can't start without the motorman.
But we are starting. Look, Dad. The doors have closed. We're moving.
Yes, what happened?
Dad,
Incredible.
I want to get out.
The brakes.
Wow!
Something happened to the
Gee
brakes.
Let's get out,
willikers,
quick.
It's
Open the door.
1940, Dad!
Jammed. They're tight shut.
Dad, we're going faster and faster. We're going downhill. Dad, what are we going to do?
Jimmy, come here.
The window. Out the window, Dad. Get it open. Smash it.
Oh, wait.
Jump, Dad. Jump.
No. It's too late. Going too fast.
We've got to, Dad. Look,
that's
there
half
ahead.
the
There's a
fun.
tree.
Jimmy.
A tree's going right in the track.
Look.
Oh, yeah.
Look. There in the sky. It's a man.
Why, he's flying.
It can't be. It's not possible.
Dad, he's coming straight at us. He's moving down. He's coming up the roof. Dad!
Grab hold of me. No, put me down. Let me go.
Stop it.
One under each arm.
Announcer voice
Up
down.
through the top.
This is ingrained in
Hold
my
on.
spirit.
We're going to crash.
What is
Yeah,
the
it is the
relation
same
of this
voice
child
as-
and this
Well, we
man?
just got out of that in time.
Son and dad.
Trolley
son and
car's a
father.
wreck.
Yeah, haven't you
Smashed
guessed?
into a million pieces.
Dad.
Where are you going? What are you doing to us?
What's happening?
He's right.
Put
It
us
is
down.
the
Don't be
same
frightened,
voice
you're all
as
right.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge.
Had to get you out of there in a hurry.
God.
Pulling off that roof was the only way.
I think we're sure.
Now we're going down again.
I like the actor for Superman.
Down. There you are. Safe and sound in the field.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Quite all
No
right,
roads for
Professor.
miles. No way
Getting
home
you and the boy out of that car was
whatsoever.
nothing.
I
But safe
can't
and
believe
sound.
it.
Who are you, anyway?
It's a
Where do
real
you come
Spider-Man,
from?
No way
I
home.
have no name. I come from a world that no longer exists. Here in this world of yours, men would call me a Superman.
It's a dream.
Like the
A
show.
wild, impossible dream.
said the
Dad,
line!
it happened. We saw it. He flew
Everyone
down,
drink,
took
everyone
his
drink.
arm.
And out of the car, that's all. Nothing so strange about that.
And you saved our lives, Jimmy's and mine. I don't understand even now, but
Get
I'm
ready
grateful.
to,
Are you, Professor?
Well, do you doubt
they're
it?
about to...
Would you do something to
They're
prove
about
it?
to fuck
Would
with
we?
the origin.
Anything
of
at
what
all.
makes me angry.
And make me a promise.
Okay.
Promise that you'll say nothing at all about what's happened.
What? Don't you want people to know?
Not just yet. I want no one to know, except those I help. Will you promise?
If you wish,
I do, believe me.
then you have our word. Is that all?
No.
No.
You've given me your promise. Now I want your advice.
You want advice from us?
You know this world. I'm a stranger. You know the people in it. I have still to find them out.
You want to meet men, is that it?
Not meet them, Professor.
I
Observe
want to meet
them.
men.
Study them. See them at their best and their worst. Know which to help and when help is needed. If you can tell me that,
Dad, can we help him?
Well, I think so, Jimmy, if that's what he wants.
it would mean a great deal to me.
Well, my friend, if we can call you that,
I hope we can.
My first friends on this earth.
to mingle with people, to see men at the highest and lowest. If that's what you want.
Thank you, Dad.
Now, let me think.
What are you doing up this
How about
late?
a
It's
newspaper?
midnight for you.
Great
No, it's
Metropolitan
10 for
Daily.
you.
A
Thank you, Dad.
newspaper.
Well, yes, join their staff. Be a reporter.
Oh, but you can't do it in those clothes. Not that blue costume with the cloak and shield on your breast.
Actually, just
Gee, you
another
couldn't.
Jimmy, these are the cloak and the shield of Superman. If I become as other men, I shall dress as other men.
Well, you will have to assume some kind of a name.
This part. This
What
part.
do they call you?
I have no name.
Well, how about Clark Kent? That sounds all right.
Yes, why not? It's usual enough.
There's no
Won't
line,
attract
Clark
attention.
Kent. Some kid just says, "What if your
Kent.
name was Clark
Yeah.
Kent?" And then that's
about
his
joining a
name
newspaper?
now.
That should give me an opportunity to
It's
learn the troubles of men,
infuriating.
to know whom to help,
Like, that is
when
not a
help is
name
needed.
you would just come
I'll do
up
it.
with.
Many thanks to both of you for your advice.
Well, no thanks are necessary. If there were only something more.
Just this. Remember your promise.
Oh.
Never to reveal my identity.
Maybe?
And now,
I mean,
goodbye.
I will never say
I've
no
stayed
to
too
that
long, and I'm off.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Bye.
I always agree to it.
What about Clark Kent?
They're right.
Good question, kid.
Superman
Well,
must
we know
become a
this kid
reporter.
says emphatically
A
single,
reporter by the
syllable
name of
statements like,
Clark
damn.
Kent.
Clark Kent. That's two
Clark
single-syllable words.
Kent.
You know, it's got to be
I'll
in
do
that
it.
realm for him.
Hey, can I get a dad in the chat, please?
Dad.
Give me a dad in the chat.
The more we do it, the more
Ready,
like
roll. White.
Australian it almost gets.
Hey.
Better get somebody in that railroad story right away.
Anything
Dad,
break?
no, Dad, no.
We got a dad in the chat.
Ah, Dave, no, we gotta,
Where are you now?
At the yards out of town. If I were
Not
you,
coyote,
I'd have somebody.
Dingo, that's the one.
Yeah, it is.
Whoa.
That's what I do, Chief. Watch him.
What?
Trail him.
That's the name of
Follow
the
him.
It's my opponent.
At the bottom of it,
Shit.
you're your boy.
Please.
Oh, hey, I gotta be there.
Get it
Someone's
right or pay the
coming.
price.
Look at all these dads.
Young man's
Hey.
still waiting.
What young man? Oh, the one who wants a job? Well, let them wait. Who have we got
also
that's
like
free?
the Perry
Man's on
White
the
actor.
coast,
He's like,
racing's down in
you're a
Virginia
piece of
most
shit,
of the day,
Kent.
and a bullet.
I knew it. Confound it's always the way. Something breaks and nobody to handle it.
What is it, Mr. White?
Railroads. Sabotage. I didn't believe it, but there may be something in it after all. If there is...
Yes, sir.
If there is, Miss Smith, it'll be the biggest story since Lindbergh. And me short-handed. Oh, what's the use?
Yes, sir. About that man.
Oh, send him in. Send him in.
Yes, sir.
Is this in
Come in, Mr. Kent.
Metropolis,
Mr. White will
or
see
has
you now.
Metropolis not been...
You want to see me?
Yeah,
Close
so
that door.
The beginning with the train
My name
derailment
is
and the
Kent.
son and his
Clark
dad
Kent.
was in
What
Indiana,
can I do for you, Mr.
but
Kent?
yeah, the paper,
Well, Mr. White, you can
the
give me
paper
work,
is in
I hope.
Metropolis.
Work?
I
On the
guess
paper?
I asked
Yes.
that, like, assuming
like
that,
to
like,
be a
because we have
reporter. No,
Metropolis,
you'd like to be a
real
reporter.
world events didn't
What papers
happen
have you
in,
worked
like,
on?
modern Superman.
None.
Right,
Oh,
right.
you haven't.
You can buy a
You think you'd
comic
be a
about where
whiz?
Superman was during
Well, I'm afraid I can't use
9/11.
it,
Like,
Kent.
that exists.
Yeah.
You haven't any openings?
Not for greenhorns. I'm sorry if I'm wrong.
Mr. White, even if I am
We
a
didn't put that DC hero.
suppose I
in.
brought you a good story.
Fair.
And where would you get it? I'm afraid you'll have to excuse me, Mr. Kent.
A
I'm
really good story?
such as...
Such as the complete inside on the man called the Wolf on the Western Railroads?
what's that?
You heard me. Do you want that story?
Do I want it? Well, I should
Western
say I do.
Railroads?
Look
I
here.
think I could get
Yeah,
it.
see?
What do you know about the wolf?
What do you know about
Where did you ever
railroads?
hear his name?
And did he just go, what do you know about the
Oh,
wall?
stop beating around
No,
the
he
bush.
said the wolf.
I only
He
heard
was
the
the
beginning
guy
of that
who was
myself
like
yesterday morning. Not a
sending
paper in
out
the
these
country's
threats
carried a
that
line.
the trains
And
are
yet...
going to be derailed ahead of the
Okay.
time for them
I think
actually
I
being
could do something
derailed.
with it,
It was
Mr. White.
Now look here,
1940.
Kent.
It could have been
Mysterious
what do you know
secret
about the
messages
war?
have threatened to
Yeah.
tie up every railroad in
What
the
do you know
country.
about the
Beginning
war
with the
with
western.
wolf?
For a while, the road paid no attention. And then the cracked flyer on the P&R went off a bridge.
Yes, I read about that.
And
And also
you
the
didn't
game
read
I'm
about the
playing
warnings
is
because they
Marvel
weren't
Snap.
printed.
My goal is
No,
to
and they won't be.
have the
Not until
higher
we've checked
score
all the
on
angles.
two
And
of
then this man, the
these-
wolf.
two
Yes,
of
the wolf.
the
Now, where do you
three,
come in? How did you get to know the
locations
wolf?
by turn 6.
Excuse me.
Um,
Say your own, White.
Right, Fred.
This is my 8. Each round does a damage to my or my opponent's HP. If I lose health equal to the number
Hey,
here.
what's that? Who's this?
I can click here to double it, which I already did. If I think I'm going to
Hey,
win,
come
which I
back here.
did.
Come back here. Wait.
And that'll
Where did that call come
deal
from?
more damage. And if I could choose to retreat if I don't think I'm gonna win, and that way I avoid the
How do you
final
know who that
doubling
was?
of the
If I
last
were you,
turn.
I'd warn
So
the
he
officials in
also,
charge
or
of the
my
Silver
opponent
Clipper.
also snapped
here.
to
You
increase
couldn't hear that
the
phone.
damage. So
What is this?
if I,
How do you know who
sure.
called me?
So if I win here, then my opponent loses all the HP, and I straight up win. We'll see what happens. The deck I'm playing, beans. That's not gonna do it. Yeah, Shang-Chi does destroys anything on my side if it's over. He just got nerfed, so I think it's 10. Yeah, 10 or more now. My deck has a bunch of cards with downsides and a bunch of other cards that remove the downsides of my cards. Yeah, anyway, back to Superman.
I was saying, Mr. White.
Yeah.
Suppose I
And
brought
these
you a good
locations
story.
all have
The
effects.
story of the Silver
Like this one is
Clipper and
shortening
the
the
wolf.
game to
I take chance.
to just 4 turns. All the locations have different effects, and they change every game what locations you're gonna get. Yeah, I don't. This is bad for me because my deck really relies on turns 5 and 6.
Yeah, that seems like it really depends on how you play.
The opponent is confident that they're gonna win, and I am not. So I think I'm gonna retreat rather than allow the wager to get up to 2 next turn. So I'm just gonna retreat and hope for better location drops the next time.
Mrs. Kent, I'm going to take a chance on you.
Thank you, Mr. White.
It's 2,000 miles. You'll have to hop a plane.
I'll get there, Mr. White, in spite of the weather.
Lord, I hadn't noticed the weather. Well, get to the airport anyway.
You ready, Mr. White?
Miss Smith, this is Clark Kent, temporarily attached to our staff. You'll note I said temporarily.
Yes, sir.
Kent leaves for the west for the first plane. Get him tickets and a $200 advance.
Mr. White, all planes are grounded.
That's all right, sir. I'll get there.
Take him outside.
Yeah,
Show him what he needs to know.
Oh, you
White,
set
I'd
him
like
off
to
now.
thank you.
Oh, let it go, Kent, let it go. You get the story and you get a job. You're either clairvoyant or the luckiest guesser alive. Either way, I can use you. But if you miss out, well...
This way, Mr. Kent.
Thank you, Miss Smith. Nice of you to show me around.
Pretty lucky, I'll say. 100 good newspaper men walking the streets, and you step right into a job.
I say, I am lucky.
You wait in here. It's the anteroom of the cashier's office.
Well, I really don't need an advance.
Oh, playboy in disguise, eh? Wait here.
What a rotten night.
Don't fall out that window. It's 20 stories down.
Beautiful view, even in the fog.
You wait right here till I get your money. Then I'll introduce you to a few real newspaper men.
Plane's grounded. 2,000 miles to go. Sorry, Miss Smith. I'm afraid I can't wait. Clark Kent may need a plane, but Superman doesn't.
I love how it changes.
Up with a window. And out.
That's good.
This part's so funny.
Get out. Hope I didn't keep you waiting too. What?
Miss Smith! Miss Smith! What's wrong?
That man! Did he go out, that Clark Kent?
Nobody went through the city room.
He didn't go out. Well, I left him right here, the window.
Like,
the
that
open
new
window,
guy
he went
just
through
jumped
it.
out the
What is
window.
that?
Yeah.
He went out the window.
No subtlety about it.
I think I knew.
Out
guy
the
just
open
jumped
window,
just
20
to-
stories above the ground. In the wink of an eye, Clark Kent, cub reporter for the Daily Planet, becomes Superman, eagle of the sky, winging his way west
the voice
over city
changing is
and
really
plain,
good.
river
I
and
get it,
mountain
like,
through the
The
storm-swept
original
night.
Superman movie
But
does have
will
a
he
really
be in
good,
time?
representation of
Can
that,
he
where,
checkmate
like,
the strange
or I
figure
think it's
called
either
the Wolf,
first one or second
discover
one,
the
just has,
plot,
like, a really good
save the
scene of,
Silver
like,
Clipper, roaring
I
toward
forget which
Denver
way
at
he's
90
going,
miles
but,
an
like,
hour.
I think he's going from
And
Clark-
remember,
he's going from Superman to
don't
Clark Kent.
miss the next
He's just, like,
installment of
scrunching himself out,
Superman.
hunching over how he
Yeah.
putting on the glasses, changing his hair.
It's like the audio equivalent.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Okay, these episodes are really short, so episode 2, here we go.
All right.
Kino's Lance.
Presenting Superman.
Yeah, so we're gonna listen to one more Superman, and then we're gonna listen to the piece of old radio that got me into old radio.
Okay,
So I'm glad you asked me that.
Cool, yeah, great.
So,
Perfect.
Which one?
So
I mean, we'll find out.
yeah,
I
it's
also
the
wanna know
show
which
called
one.
Quiet Please, and I'll give it like a historical introduction when we get there. But it is a horror show,
Yeah.
and it's a particularly famous episode of that show called The Thing on the Forble Board. He'll explain what a Forble Board is in the festivities.
I don't know that Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah. What do I do here? I think I do this. That was 5. This gets me 4, 5. Well, this would.
Release at 6
This is bad. I think I gotta retreat. And So I heard Thing on the Four-Wheel Board just from like other. I think I heard it on a podcast about like modern like podcast audio dramas, and they were like that feed uploaded like here's some old radio we like, and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. It's like a real creep. It's like not scary as you listen to it, but it starts to become like creepy. Not like jump scary or anything like that. But just that,
The old radio horror shows are really good at that. I've listened to a lot of like The Shadow.
Oh yeah. I was considering putting The Shadow on the list, but I didn't. But yeah, and then I started listening to this really good podcast called The Mysterious Old Radio Listening Society, and I like it because they give historical context up front, they play you the entire episode, and then they have a commentary about it after. Cool. So it was a good like intro for me to understand like generally what's out there, because if you don't know what to look for, it's kind of hard to know, and like a lot of the shit's just bad. So you want to know like what is actually worth listening to. Right. But like once you have someone or a show like that to kind of curate for you, it starts to be a really rewarding hobby, especially as someone who makes audio drama. It's interesting to see the medium's zenith in some ways.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I was in a podcasting class in college, and that's how they started us off at the start.
Oh,
of the course.
yeah.
It was great. We are going to listen to a lot of old radio,
Yeah.
and we're going to
That's cool.
think about that as the foundation for what you are making now.
I think a lot about how I like getting into audio drama. I listened a lot to, my library had cassette tapes of the old Star Wars radio dramas, like adaptations of the original movies, and then there are audio drama adaptations, or I guess just original stories about like young Han Solo, you know, like not canon with the new shit or whatever. Young Han Solo, and like one about some other Jedi. some other motherfucker. It might be Kyle Katarn, if anyone knows.
It's absolutely Kyle Katarn.
Yeah, it's about how he like visits a Jedi graveyard and learns to be a Jedi by talking to ghosts.
Or Corran Horn. Does that sound familiar?
No.
Cornhorn?
Cornhorn?
Corran Horn. He has a motorcycle, a swoop bike handle that has been turned into a lightsaber because he's the coolest little baby boy on the set.
I don't know that man, but I like the sound of that man.
I would like to know that.
I would like to know that man.
He's like Kyle Katarn if Kyle Katarn smoked weed.
Kyle Katarn needs to smoke weed.
I think I lose here. I think Poop Ship has the best of me, but we'll see what happens.
Poop Ship is sailing.
Starting up 2 here.
Let's do it.
Up in the sky. Look, it's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman.
Superman.
And now, Superman. Amazing figure from another world with powers and abilities never before realized by mortal men. Given a chance to make good by Perry White, city editor of the Daily Planet, young Clark Kent, who is really Superman, leaped out a window 20 stories
Give it
above
away,
the ground
William.
and vanished in a swirl of fog.
Young Superman who was
Secret
really
warnings had come to the newspaper of a vague and sinister plot against the railroads of the West. Mild-mannered Clark Kent had received orders to go west at once and investigate. Already danger is forming in the path of the Silver Clipper, crack train of the West Coast Railroad, roaring over the prairie on her way to Denver and Salt Lake. All planes were grounded by fog and sleet. But today, as our story continues, a strange figure hurtled through space. Red cape streaming in the whistling wind. Superman speeds to his assignment.
Where's Coast City?
Yeah.
24 hours to go. The Silver Clipper leaves Denver tomorrow night on our way to Salt Lake City. And that man who calls himself the Wolf, have to find out who he is, too. He said the train would never get there. We'll see, Wolf. We'll see. If you're up to something, look out. Because the other side has Superman.
Copyright, patent pending.
I'm calling up the hospital.
And as Superman wings his way westward, following the faint steel ribbon of the railway line below him, 2 men sit waiting in a tiny shack in the Colorado foothills. One of them is Keno Carter, gunman, gambler, bad man of the Southwest. Keno
Bad
waits
man of the
nervously.
Southwest.
Wait for
Is
some
he
word
single?
from the figure across the table.
Also,
The dark,
he describes him as a
shadowy
bad
figure
man of
who
the
calls
Southwest.
himself
When you hear his voice, that's
boys,
a cartoon New Yorker.
Now, the Silver Clipper ain't due till tomorrow. Don't even leave Denver till tomorrow afternoon.
That's not a man of the South.
No.
But the
I'm
Western
obsessed
Limited
with
is
this
due
fun
in
fact
exactly
from
10
Jeff.
minutes.
They didn't say
What-
he played Superman
what are you
on
gonna
the
do with the
radio show
Limited?
for years.
I
Oh,
warned
that's
various
Jeff,
people
tell us
and
more.
newspapers
Yeah.
that something would happen to the Silver Clipper tomorrow night.
There's a lot like this era.
So far, they've chosen to ignore me.
They didn't really
they
do a
see what
lot of
overtakes
credit.
the limit.
I mean, some shows
Expect
did,
less
but like
than 10 minutes.
They kept the
They will
actor's
pay
identity
more
as a
attention to
legit
me when
secret
I call.
Yeah.
Listen, boss, what is this, a game?
To be
What
fair,
are you trying to
did
do?
really
Why
terrible
ask me,
crediting
you know?
for voice acting.
Do I know any more than
up
you?
Until like the mid.
We're told to
2000s at the
paralyze the
earliest.
will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of like.
Because there were a lot of rules where like you did, if you played under a certain number of characters, you only had to be credited for one of them.
Even stuff in like the 90s. I rewatched Evangelion recently, and me and my roommate were watching the commentary of the end of Evangelion movie, which the producer of the show is the voice of Rey. I forgot her name. She was talking about how there's a lot of people they could not bring back for the movie for minor characters for End of Evangelion. Like the Nerve employees, people like that. Because it was like, this lady was an office secretary who only ever voice acted in this. Was credited but just disappeared. No one ever knew how to get a hold of her. And going further back to like when people weren't even credited, like more and more layers of obfuscation come up in front of getting a hold of people.
And in the case of like radio broadcasts from this era, like it was not, and that's one of the reasons I can just play this is because these were uncopyrighted work. Like the understanding was like, I'm broadcasting this. Like there wasn't really an expectation that someone was gonna like keep these recordings for posterity. So like a lot of these episodes are just straight up gone for many of these shows. And the people making them weren't necessarily anticipating that anyone, how many years later is this? 60, 80 years later would be still listening to it.
This would blow their minds.
So this is a big tangent, but the show that kind of created the like Twilight Zone or like Tales from the Crypt style story where it's like supernatural or horror adjacent, and there's a host who like introduces it, and it's an anthology thing. That kind of format was one of the first shows. Was the show called The Witch's Tale, made by this guy Alonzo Dean Cole. And when like TV came out and started being popularized, he was like, well, I guess my life's work isn't worth anything, and he destroyed all of his tapes. He's like, no one's gonna listen to these anymore, I guess.
Oh, that's so rough. Video killed the radio star, etc., etc.
But some of the people who, some of the people who, I think I want to put that here actually. Some of the people who made shows, especially like towards the end of radio's life, did realize that there might be a longer shelf life for these, that people would keep paying attention to them. One of them was this guy Carlton E. Morse, who did one of the longer running like soap opera shows, and he also did like a lot of like mystery serials. He actually started seeing like the earliest examples of like conventions of people who were still into this once, like even after the TV era started. And so he worked to retroactively copyright the shows that he wrote, and so his estate still sells those packages. So like I couldn't play Carlton E. Morse stuff because he did, before he died, work to make sure that he had the copyright on, which, I respect that, I get it. But for my personal edification, I do enjoy that most people didn't have that foresight. So you can just download, you can download like 90% of the stuff that's still extant from this era. Just 90 might even be low. Like 95% of the stuff from that era, with uncopyrighted, you could rebroadcast it, repackage it, and there are a lot of people that do repackage it in like podcast form and that sort of thing. Anyway, we'll get back to this.
That's all. But it's enough. We obey orders.
Well, whose orders? Where did they come from?
Yours come from me. And you know what happens, Kino, if you disregard them. Shall I tell you again?
No, never mind.
Very well. Come outside.
Oh, I should have played that one here. Why didn't I?
Not long to wait now. If the limit is on time, we should begin to hear her.
I don't hear nothing.
She is on time. Have you done what I told you?
Yeah, I done it. But I don't see...
You will see, Kino, very shortly indeed.
Hey, what are you trying to do? Scare him to death?
Listen to what I tell you. I'm listening. That train will be going over that trestle down there in another 7 or 8 minutes.
So what?
At the end of the trestle, as you can see, Kino, the track turns and runs along the cliff on the mountainside.
Yeah, I see.
The mountain's to one side, very steep and abrupt, then the track, then the canyon, 300 feet deep.
Hey, listen. You going to throw him down the canyon? The whole 10 cars?
As I said before, all you have to do is obey orders.
All right. What do I do?
You wait till the train has crossed the trestle, then you fire the charge.
Right away?
Count 10, if you like.
All right. And then what?
Then events will take their natural course. After which you will come back and join me in the cabin.
Hey, she's coming. Coming fast.
Moving, my friend. Let her cross the trestle. Then count 10.
It just sounds like a car.
Good.
Yeah.
Still following the railway. Must be getting fairly close to Denver. Looks like a long trestle up ahead.
It's just a train caper. It's a classic train.
I'd get aboard that train if it weren't so slow. I'll drop down a bit and look it over. Might do it anyway. Right in as Clark Kent.
That's how these things started.
Exactly. A lot of them are literally just Superman solves a mystery.
Solves a normal thing.
Might use his powers for like 10 minutes at the very end. That's being generous.
He flies to where the hideout is.
Exactly, yeah.
The idea that he would fight like an opponent with powers would be like insane back in those days.
Wasn't you all might have covered it earlier, but wasn't like Superman Fights the Klan one of the big like original
that was a serial, yeah.
Yeah, like a
Like a huge one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dragnet. My dad loves
That man on the side of the mountain doing.
Dragnet started
the
new
charging
era of
battery for dynamite
propaganda.
blasting.
It is like brilliant in its efficiency.
Seems to be waking.
And storytelling format, but it is scary propaganda.
I have a clip from
He's waiting for the
Dragnet
train.
saved to my
Gonna blast
phone
it right off
that
the
my
tracks.
dad sent me.
Looks like some of your dirty work,
them
Wolf.
talking about
Well, here's where Superman takes a hand.
This is called a joint. Sold on the street for
I've
75
got to stop that
cents.
train.
The buyer claims it's heaven.
They'll stop to put me off because I have no
the seller
ticket.
claims it's heaven. The buyer
got to
soon
be
finds
fast.
out it's hell. And I think about it
90
every
miles an
day.
hour. Good speed for train, but it can't leave Superman behind.
Damn, 75 cents.
There's the observation platform.
Because a math
What luck? Nobody on it. Now then. Grab the platform rail. There. Leap on board. Now.
Chat, what do you
Join
think?
the
I might
passengers
try
as Clark Kent.
Oh, okay.
Cub reporter for the Daily Planet. Off with the cape. Into ordinary clothes. And inside.
I don't need to. He's got 1 HP.
Please, all tickets. Tickets first.
I literally can't.
All tickets,
He has
please.
1 HP.
Tickets, please. May I have your ticket, please?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, conductor, but
Didn't ask anything.
I have lost it.
No, you've lost it. And I'm afraid that I'll have to ask you to pay the fare.
Now, you know,
I don't know what I
I'm
was
terribly
talking
sorry,
about
but
last.
I seem to have lost my money.
I thought so. You've been riding the blinds and figured you'd sneak in here
Yeah,
where it's
are we
warm.
back?
Well, we know how to deal with bums like you.
That's right, conductor. Stop the train and put me off. I don't mind.
Huh? Say, who are you?
Clark Kent, reporter for the Daily Planet. But that's all right. I ought to be more careful. Teach me a good lesson.
Well,
okay, so-
I guess I'll take a chance if you're really a reporter.
Chad, are we okay
You're
with me
liable to-
like ending the Superman right now, because that'll give me enough time to play the full thing on the formal board, and we definitely want to get to the end of that.
I gotta know about this
Okay.
formal board.
Okay.
That sounds fun.
I'm seeing some seeing go for it. Okay, there we go.
Andrew, can I say something in the mic really quick? Probably.
Riley has an announcement.
Hey everybody.
Oh, I won.
We said by, I believe, midnight tonight, we had to reach $3,500 for Nessa to get a tattoo of the moon.
Oh, true.
Oh yeah.
We are like what is that, $303 away from it?
Okay.
Yep.
If you can make this happen, if you can reach out to your friends and your family to force my friend Nessa to get a tattoo of the moon.
That she consents to.
That she consents to. She already consented to it.
Yeah.
She wants this. You have the power to make it happen, to physically change the body of my friend. Consider this.
Weird.
So,
do it.
An even more funny prank to Nessa would be to actually get to 4,000 by midnight.
That would be hilarious.
They'd be so pranked.
2 moons.
All right. I'm going to interrupt this one last because this one is actually good.
Okay, cool.
Quiet, please.
This is 1948.
The Mutual Broadcasting System presents Quiet Please, which is written and directed by Willis Cooper and which features Ernest Chappell. Quiet Please for tonight is called The Thing on the Furble Board.
This is a horror
Me, I'm a roughneck.
thing, so if you are...
Well, I was a roughneck.
You're not going to get jump scared. It's more just like... most of it is not scary, and then you get to the end and you go, "Ooh." That's how I would describe the horror without giving it away, but fair warning there.
Got me in 20 years ago, a little too old, too slow now. Besides, I got $1 now, I don't have to be a roughneck, you see. Married, got a nice home, had to meet my wife. Hey, Mike! Her name's Maxine, but she likes to be called Mike. Mike! I guess she's busy out in the kitchen someplace. Besides, she doesn't hear very well. Shame, too, she's so pretty and everything.
Weird.
Well, you'll meet her.
You said that really
Sit down.
softly.
I was saying I was a roughneck. Well, no, that doesn't mean exactly what you think it means. A roughneck is an oil field worker, specifically a guy in a drilling crew. Call them roughnecks like you call a section hand on the railroad a gandy dancer or a garage hand a grease monkey.
That one.
Same time you work around the drilling crew for a while, you're going to be a roughneck in every sense of the word, boy. A derrick floor or a four-bolt board is no place for a guy with a bow tie.
It takes him a while to explain what a
And when you have
floorboard
to
is.
fool around with drilling holes that go farther down the ground than it is from the top of Pike's Peak down to sea level, and sure they do. The time I was a roughneck, we got this one well down to 7,313 feet. That was a record. But last May, Pure Oil brought one in out in the Trona Valley in Wyoming at 14,309 feet. That, friend, is almost 3 miles. Quite a hole, that, huh? Sure, I don't think there's an oil man in the world that don't wonder one time or another what's down there, besides rock and oil and gas. Oil that's made out of trees that died 20 million years ago. Oil that's made out of dinosaur bones. Oil that's maybe made out of the flesh and blood of men, maybe, that beat each other to death with a stone axe.
Incorrect. They didn't die long enough ago.
Yeah, you get to wondering. You look at the cores that come up from way down there, and sometimes the little shells, trilobites mostly, that was alive when Manhattan Island, where New York is, was under half a mile of ice. We found something once, me and Billy Grunwald, and something found us. I'll tell you about it. We were down to around 5,400 feet. We'd set casing. We began to get water, so we had to stop drilling and cement off. Well, you see, when water begins to seep in the hole, you pull your drill pipe. Then you let down a cementing shoe inside the casing, and you plug up the bottom of the hole, casing and all, with quick hardening waterproof cement. Then when it's hard, you drill through the cement, go on down, and the cement outside the casing at the bottom keeps the water out. Well, we had the drill pipe all pulled and racked. The cement was setting, see? So we was shut down, waiting for it to harden. We'd been coring just before. You see, a core drill is hollow, and as the bit digs down, it stuffs the drillings up inside it, so when you pull it out, you got a sample of the kind of stuff you're going through. And a geologist can tell a lot from that. So there's nobody around the rig except me that night. The rest of the crew's gone into town. I was toasting some pork chops over the forge for myself, but I heard a car pulling up. Look out, it's Billy Grunwald, the geologist, and I give him a hello. Hi, Billy, come and have pork chop.
Hi, Porky. Where's everybody?
They all went to town. I'm the whole crew.
I had 3 blowouts between here and Oxnard.
Yeah, I wondered where you was. Ted said you'd be in here about 3.
Yeah, I would have been, except for my tough luck. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, hungry?
Starved.
Yeah, I got 7 pork chops. And bread. And some coffee kind of.
Well, Yeah, I got a bottle.
Electric bottle that says this guy helped make a Moonshot Minecraft server hole.
Yeah, back there in
Also,
the bed.
shout out to the donations we are getting to get us closer to Nessa getting a tattoo.
It's gonna be
Are you
real.
all alone here?
Uh-huh.
I thought I heard somebody talking.
I don't see anybody. Keep an eye on that pork chop. You want any supper?
Yeah, I'm watching.
Loves his pork
Let me put the coffee on. Like so.
When did you finish cementing?
This morning, last tower only made about 10 feet of holes, so Ted shut down before we get flooded out of house and home.
Funny about that water.
How?
Oughtn't to be any at that level, according to my figuring.
Well, there is.
Is it salt?
Sure, right out of the bottom of the ocean.
That's funny. Well, maybe I'll be able to tell something from the core. Yeah, I hope so.
I just want to thank everyone here.
We said it.
You did? Okay.
We said, yep.
Captain, all right, you're good. Unpause.
Oh, last core I looked at, I swore we were getting into shale.
Ain't seen none yet. From the cuttings.
It's funny.
Here, your pork chop's done. Yeah, take some bread.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, man.
Good, huh? Yeah, put on another. I had 2 already before you come.
Yeah, I want you to. Yeah, you know, you never can tell what's down there. You get it all mapped and plotted out, all the straighter. And all you know is what comes out of the hole.
I'd like to go down there sometime if I was little enough.
All you know is what comes out of the hole.
Never get you down.
Yeah, you'd fit. You're skinny.
I'll stay up here and look at the core.
I'd like to go explore a hole. Join the Moonshot Patreon.
Behind
And join
you.
our Minecraft server and
Over
check
there.
out the hole we made.
Well, I'll have a look at it.
Why don't you wait to finish your supper?
I'm just gonna look at it. Put on another pork chop for me.
Okay.
Well, I wish there was street dogs.
What's the matter?
Wait a minute, Porky.
Well, why did
Listen.
Snap.
What's eating you?
You know, I was sworn there's somebody up there in that portable board.
Ah, you're crazy. There's nobody up there.
Been against those stands of drill pipe.
Ah, they're just rack crooked. One of them slipped. Come on back and eat your pork chop.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Only
Ah, what you so jittery about, Billy? Come on, eat your sandwich. Here.
Yeah, well, thanks, Porky. I don't know, I'm just naturally that way, I guess. I'm always scared of the dark. Doggone it, I hate to be a baby, but I can't help it.
Scared of the dark? Honest?
Stupid, ain't it?
Oh, I know. Everybody's scared of something. Me. Spiders scare the tar out of me. Black widows. Oh. I know how you feel, Billy.
There another light over here?
Yeah. Here.
This is the anonymous 6633.
Oh, that's fair. Hey, listen, Porky. Go out to the car and look in the left-hand door pocket to bring back that bottle, will you? That's what I need.
Okay, kid. Okay. So I picked up a flashlight. I turned around, went outside, I found the car. Then I got the bottle. And the floor of the derrick was all lit up, and when I saw a beam of light suddenly flash up toward the floorboard, I laughed. Billy Grunwald and his ideas. Sure, I looked up. There wasn't a darn thing up there, except a drill pipe racked against the fingerboard. Oh, this, floorboard. Well, you've seen oil derricks, or pictures of them. Do you know that little platform that runs around the outside of the derrick about halfway up? Well, that's the board. Well, you see, drill pipe comes in lengths, and you handle them with several lengths screwed together so as to save time getting them in and out of the hole. 2 lengths is a double, 3 is a triple, 4 is a four. When you pull the pipe, you
Well, there you go.
the derrick of the
Such a
traveling clock,
mundane
which
answer
will
to what a
down
floorball
the
board
crown
is.
clock at the top of the derrick.
And Grizzy Tron has donated a
Well, the pipe is
69
pulled out,
volt,
it's
getting
coming
us,
out of the table.
getting us to the moon.
Get it?
Coming out like a possum from under my
Yeah.
You just got her out from under the table, Chad.
Nestle's crawling up from under a table. Give her a minute.
It's tattoo time.
Tattoo
I
time.
heard that I'm getting a tattoo.
Sure are.
Woo! No one tell my dad.
We're also playing Fiasco.
Ooh,
Also playing
Also
Fiasco.
playing
That's
Fiasco.
They're also playing
Important.
Fiasco.
But thank you all for getting us there.
It's like
Congrats on the
a
tattoo,
great big
Nessa.
still.
Absolutely.
Yeah, now I gotta figure out where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Have a cable that's fastened to the handle of the cat head on
That,
the drawer.
I'm not letting that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no,
I'm
that,
not leaving that up to people.
but it would be funny, no.
But
it
it's
would be.
fun to make the
You can make the
joke.
poll anyway, and it just not be binding in any way.
Just do what the people want.
Yeah.
My Marvel Snap game isn't great when I'm distracted.
That was rough. Why'd you snap there?
Yeah! Shut up!
Are you backseat snapping, Andrew?
Andrew told me to snap turn 1 with no information.
I think that a Marvel Snap game that you don't snap in isn't worth playing.
Then you hold the tongs in the pipe, give the rotary tape a few turns to unscrew it. You heist away with the traveling block and swing it over against the fingerboard, lean it against the deck. The guy up on the forward board takes off the traveling block, you do it all over again, and you got all the pipe out, you see?
You see?
Well, there wasn't anybody up on the forward board, except a screech owl, and it flew away. So, Billy turned his light off. I come on inside. And just as I come up the steps, he let out a yell. What's the matter? What's the matter, Billy?
Hey, come here, look here.
Well, what's it look for? Where did you find that?
Now listen, Porky, I give you my word, that was embedded in the core.
Why, it couldn't be.
I tell you it was. Look where I dug it out. You know what? That rock there comes from a mile underground. And it's been a mile underground for 1,000,000 years. And look at this.
And I did look. And what he was holding was a gold ring. And it was all carved and filigreed just like jewelry. And there wasn't any kidding about it. It was real.
I love the organ sound, especially with like the low quality of the recording. It's so haunting.
The warble of it is so...
No, wait a minute. Hang on, I ain't done. I poked at the core of rock that looked like a kind of petrified salami or something. And then it was my turn to pretty near jump out of my pants. Because right alongside the place where Billy dug out the ring, there was a mud-covered, but very unmistakable finger. I picked it up, and it was cold, and it was heavy, and it was solid rock.
Electric Gauntlet, you're more right than you know.
And I looked at Billy, and Billy
about the
looked at me
ring being related to
Decided
marriage.
Rub the mud off this here stone finger.
Spoilers.
And as he rubbed it, it began to disappear. No, he could still feel it, he said, but when the mud was gone, neither one of us could see it. And he dropped it to the derrick floor, it went clunk, and we couldn't find it anyplace. So you know what we done? Well, we took that bottle and we took and finished it, Billy and me. We finished it in one slug apiece, and it was a full pint of bathtub gin. It tasted just like so much well water to me.
Remember
Have a gin in one slug.
Yeah. It must be Malort.
Yeah.
Remember at the beginning when he was like, "Yeah, I'll introduce you to my wife later."
Oh yeah.
And then we sat down on the derrick floor and we looked at each other. We didn't say a word. My eyes got heavier and heavier. The last thing I remember was I heard some kind of noise that seemed to be coming up from down the forward board 80 feet above us. I shut my eyes a minute. I guess I went to sleep. And I had awful dreams. Black widow, spiders crawling all over me with gold rings on their legs. Things I could hear but I couldn't see up on the forward board. Billy Grunwald climbing up the ladder outside the derrick in the moonlight. Faces looking at me, and I couldn't figure out who they were. Then I was waked up by a horrible scream. A crash alongside me that shook the whole derrick. I opened my eyes to see Billy Grunwald lying on the floor 2 feet away with a broken neck.
Not Billy Grunwald.
With a broken neck.
No, Pork Chop Guy's the narrator.
The Pork Chop Guy lives.
Yep.
Gold ring on the little finger of his left hand, and the way his arms were spread out. His left little finger and the ring were gone. Well, friend, I got out of there. I run down to where Billy had left his car, and I got in. I stepped on the starter. And I couldn't get it to go, and then I remembered after I pretty near run down the battery that Billy had taken the key. I wasn't going up there and go through a dead man's clothes to get it. So I sat there in the car and shivered all by myself till daylight. And then Ted and the crew came. Afterwards, a state cop and everybody in the world was asking me questions.
Did you and Billy have a fight, Porky?
I told you we didn't, Ted.
But you had been drinking.
We only had that little pint, Ted.
Well, what was he doing up on the formal board? Did you threaten him, and did he run up there to get away from
Listen,
you?
cop, don't be a chump. Billy Grunwald and I were good friends.
Then why'd you push him off the formal board?
I didn't, I tell you. I wasn't up there.
Oh, what did he go up there for?
I don't know. I was asleep.
How do you know he was up there?
I didn't say he was. You said so. Besides, how would he break his neck if he didn't fall from way up there?
Well, look, officer. I think it was just another accident. I mean, we haven't got anything on Porky, and personally, I don't believe he did it.
Well, that's my Porky.
So it is. But we got work to do. Now, how about it? That cement's hard down there. I want to start drilling again, and I'm short-handed. Will you let Porky stay here till I run in my pipe again, and... Oh, then you can take him and ask him questions till you're blue in the face. Well, okay. Let's get rolling. They got steam up happy? I'm all set. All right. Porky, you go from the formal board.
What? Not me, Ted.
Oh, don't be such a boob. I'm here to shove you overboard. And you can put a safety line around you if you want to. And besides, you're getting paid to do what you're told. I've lost too much time already. I'll get going.
Fast approaching the real creepy bits.
So, okay, I go up on the formal board. And you can bet I took a good gander around before I did anything else. No, I couldn't see a thing. So I signaled to the driller to let down the traveling block, and he did. Came sailing down from up above. I was just reaching for it to pick up the first forble of drill pipe. Gave a big jerk, and the cable broke. It dropped and nearly pulled me off the formal board. And it landed right on top of Ted. And if you have any idea what a guy looks like after 2 tons of metal land on him from 80 feet up, yeah, you keep your ideas to yourself. Well, that was enough. 2 accidents in a row. The whole crew quit. They wasn't going to wait for a third. And it was Ted's money that was paying off. There wasn't any more, and as far as I know, the abandoned derrick is still there. And that was 20 years ago. Oh, I forgot to tell you something. That traveling block was right in front of my face when it broke loose. It was hanging by steel cable, 3/4-inch steel cable. I saw that cable break right before my eyes. Looked just like a piece of string when you snap it between your fingers. I could almost see the fingers. You know what? There was something up there on the formal board with me. And so a couple of days later I came back. I don't know if there's anything in the world as desolate, as dismal, as dead-looking as an abandoned oil well rig. There it stands like a skeleton off on a deserted side road and the bare yellow hills surrounding it. And yeah, it's the deadest thing you ever saw. I sat in my car for a long time looking at it. Everything was just the way we left it. I looked into the floor. The smashed traveling block was there alongside the rotary table. There was a little mutter of steam from the boiler. That was all. Then I heard a tinkle of something as it hit the ground alongside me. I looked around. There wasn't a soul in sight. But at my feet was a gold ring that Billy Grunwald and I had found in the core of rock that came from a mile underground and from 1,000,000 years ago in time. And I heard a little sound. The sound of a kid crying. And there wasn't any kid up there. I heard it again, and it came from above my head, and I took out my revolver. I loaded it carefully.
Oh my god.
Shit.
I started up the ladder to the
Pennywise
floorboard.
started blasting.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't anything up there, nothing I could see. There was a voice crying. The voice of a little kid. And then there was a movement behind the rack of drill pipes, and I saw the pipe move, and I yelled, "Come out of there, whoever you are! Come out or I'll start shooting!" And the stand-up pipe shivered. I thought, what can it be that can handle that heavy pipe like jack straws? And then there was a crash. The whole stand-up pipe fell over, and I just got out of the way in time. And I was alone on the floorboard with the thing. But I couldn't see it. I felt the platform tremble under my feet again, and something moved toward me. I fired 2 or 3 shots. And nothing happened. I started backwards. I knew it was following me because I could hear it meowing like a cat. My feet tripped over something. I saw it was a big can of red lead that somebody had left up there. Without thinking, I picked it up and I threw it at the sound, and it splashed. And there it was. And I wish the face of a little girl, frightened, crying with hunger and terror. Hands like a human being, and a finger missing from the left hand. And the body. I'll tell you about that. I told you how I'm scared of spiders. But I knew where it came from. It had come from the bowels of the earth, come riding up on the drill pipe as we yanked it out of the well. Come to an alien world, and was lost. It stood there dripping with red paint, blood red from head to foot, like some horrible dream. And it put its hand on my arm. Its hand was stone. Living, moving stone. And it looked into my eyes and mewed like a lost kitten. Years ago, I discovered many things about it, what it used for food, that it was deaf, that it was invisible and couldn't see people when it was invisible, that if you sprayed it with mud or paint, or grease paint, makeup, then it could see people. And believe me, I didn't want to see its body. I can see that in my nightmares. But its face, I can't help wanting to see that pathetic little girl face.
Weird.
I'm afraid maybe I've fallen.
Weird.
But it's very beautiful.
You say pathetic little girl face?
When it's well made up, it's...
Yeah. This is, we're nearing the end, and we only have 5 minutes, so I'm trying not to interrupt, but...
Yeah, a stone oil woman.
But making it up, rubbing grease paint on a stone face that looks at you and smiles, and it makes sounds like a lost kitten yet. I can disguise the body in long dresses. She can't hear very well, and when she's hungry, I have to stay out of her way. I found out what she likes to eat, remember? No, sit still. Sit still, do. Sit still or I'll have to shoot you.
Again with the shooting.
I want you to meet my wife. Or rather, my wife wants to meet you. Mike. Mike. There she is. Come on in, dear.
He married the thing on the formal board.
Oh.
And anyway, that's the end.
The fucked up howling scream.
Yeah.
That is
title of tonight's
terrifying.
story.
That's really
Do you
good.
think David
Thanks, I
Lynch
hate
listened
it.
By
to
Willis
this?
Cooper.
Maybe.
Almost
Probably.
definitely.
And Dan Sutter played Billy Cooper.
I actually
Well, it was
based Twin
Ted.
Peaks on the formal
And Cecil
board.
Walker was
I
also
can't do his voice right now. That's how I know I screamed too
As
much
usual,
earlier.
music for Quiet Please is played by Albert
I
Berman.
just got too heated.
Sound? Sound
We're
player.
both hooting and, dare I say, hollering.
Oh, and hollering.
Now for a word about next week, here is our writer-director, Willis Cooper.
Does one ever come without the other?
I'm reasonably sure that all the characters in tonight's stories were completely fictional. At least I, for one,
Thank
hope so.
God.
Yeah.
Next week's
I was
story
really
is
worried about
called
the formal board
Presto
would be coming
Chango,
from me next.
I'm sure.
Yeah, thanks, chat. That was indeed the thing on the formal board from Quiet Please.
It was good. Like I want to listen to more
Next
Quiet
week at the
Please.
same
It's
time.
really, really good. Unfortunately, a lot of the episodes don't have quite bad audio quality, but there's some
This program
real
was heard in
wins on
Canada
Quiet
through
Please.
facilities
It's
of the
all
Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
it's pausing here. It's all that voice actor. So the
Cool.
the story behind it is that the guy who wrote the show is this guy Willis Cooper, and he originally started this show called Lights Out. He tried to go off into Hollywood. I think he wrote like one script, didn't do great, and ended up going back to the radio. Meanwhile, he had passed off Lights Out to somebody else, so he started his own show, Quiet Please, and the voice actor who played Porky, he's this guy, Ernest Chappell, who previously was not a radio actor, he was just a radio announcer.
Oh,
but Willis Cooper was like, I gotta play that voice like a fiddle.
Yeah, you have the voice for it. For sure.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I do love that, I don't know, tagline or whatever of, I'm reasonably certain that everything here tonight was based on fiction.
That's That's really good.
I love that as a horror
That's
tagline.
cute.
Like,
That's so
there's
good.
reason of doubt.
Thanks
boys
for...
in the lab cooked that one up.
Yeah, thanks for chat, and also folks in the room, thanks for indulging my weird hobbies.
This is great.
It was very fun.
Thank you for the radio.
Thanks everybody.
I love old radio.
We're basically right on time if you want to go to, I can just forfeit.
We'll be right back.
Andrew, we should probably cut this one just so it's a separate video just in case, even though I have all permissions and royalty-free music and stuff. Just want to be safe.
Hey Chad, it's just you and me, baby. I'm just calling in to say we're setting up for the next radio block, but again, this stream's gonna drop and come back up. This next segment's gonna have music. We do have all rights and fucking we are allowed to play this. We've asked permission from everybody. We're allowed to, but we know that's not gonna stop Big Daddy Twitch.